Hi everyone. I probably don't even need a microphone. I can scream loud enough. Talking? Just general talking? That's my volume. Nice, Martin. Y'all know I doted on my father. Ever since I was a child, I ran around following him and asking him what he was doing constantly. And he's, in our adult years, has expressed that it was really difficult for him when we were children because he didn't know how to interact with young kids. But he figured it out, and it was being a consummate teacher. No matter where we walked, I can name all the fucking plants in this garden. I know the differences between palm trees. And it was beautiful, and I take all of that information with me now. I'm going to tell a couple stories. When I was 16 and just gotten my driver's license, I went to a dance at La Costa Canyon High School, and after the dance, me and a bunch of girlfriends, including too many for the number of seatbelts I had in my vehicle, piled in to chase after boys. And I ran a red light knowingly. I was going easily 50 miles over a speed limit in a residential neighborhood down Rancho Santa Fe, and I got my ass pulled over, and I deserved it. And I pulled up in front of the house, and he could tell by the look on her face that I had gotten a ticket. I didn't say a thing, and he looked at me and said, "How fast were you going?" I didn't get grounded because my parents didn't believe that that worked. But the next, one restriction they placed on me was just driving to school and soccer. But that weekend, my dad took me out into the garage, and he opened up the hood to the red Jeep Cherokee, which you all know from Canada to Guadalupe trips. And he asked me to tell him where each one of my friends was sitting. And I told him that Stacy was sitting there, and Bonnie was here, and Erica was there, and went through all the friends that were in the car without seatbelts. And then he went technical, because that's what my dad did. And he told me how much the engine weighed and all of the things in that engine compartment. And if I had hit a rock, if I had swerved or done something stupid and hit a curb, he told me exactly how I would have killed each and every one of the people I loved. And that was it. I didn't get punished. I didn't take my telephone away because he'd made his point. And he did it in a very, very Dan way. And that was with the technical knowledge that I needed to understand. It wasn't about punishing me. It was about making me understand what it's like to have a responsibility, and that's driving people around. My dad was my greatest inspiration, and I'm a writer because of him. And when I was a child, he paid us to memorize poetry. And I still will be the center of attention and recite things to this day. Even the last year he was alive, he would still hand me $1 if I quoted a line of literature or made a literary reference or broke into poem. He was my greatest editor, and I'm finding a serious difficulty writing knowing I can't hand it to him and watch him with a red pen, because he would get a red pen. And I would watch the way he breathed, every little gesture he made, and I was certain that it was terrible. And a few years ago, he came to me and he said I was a better writer than he was. I don't believe him, but it's something that fathers tell their daughters. Maybe not for him, right? And I'm going to tell y'all one last story. His sickness came on real fast, and it took him down even faster. And there were times where I was real angry because I wanted him to tell us how he felt about it. And he wouldn't. He didn't want to get into it. And I was looking for that to tell me how to react to this. Should I be terrified? And he was steadfast. He continued to climb a flight of stairs to his bedroom a month longer than he should have. And it took him 10 minutes to go one floor, but he did it in order not to reveal to us the amount of strength he had lost. Now I want to smack him and say, you should have told us. We would have switched rooms faster, but that's what he needed, and he needed that pride. So the last month we spent at our second home at Jim and Mary Jo's, and he had stopped speaking, could muster a yes and a no occasionally. And a week before he passed, he woke up and I could see him moving around in the room, and I went to ask him if he needed anything. And he said, no, I just have so much clarity today. And he asked to go outside. And we wheeled him in the wheelchair out Jim and Mary Jo's front door all the way to the backyard. And we're all sitting under the overhang, and he's just listening, and we're talking and laughing like old times. And Mary Jo, you did something so sweet, and I know you were drawing it out of him because of his relationship to plants. But you picked up that little red fruit on the ground, and you held it out to him. And you said, Dan, I've always wondered what this plant is, what this fruit is. And he took it in his hand, and he molded over, and he popped it in his mouth and ate it.
Nice.
And all of us panicked because we'd spent this entire month making sure he didn't break a hip or break a leg getting out of the bed. And here we've let him eat something potentially poisonous because we knew he wasn't all there. But he was. Everyone kind of filtered back into the kitchen, and I turned to him and I said, God, Dad, you really put a number on us. And he said, I've been waiting to do that for 15 years. He was in there. He was still in there.